Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about Please Put Them On Takamine-san Season 1, Episode 7. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. Well, first and foremost, we're picking up with Koshi and Takane talking about like this college tour or university tour thing that's coming up like the next day. And it kind of enters this conversation about what Koshi's future plans are going to be. Is he going to go to college? Is he going to go to work? And he hadn't really decided, but she's like, the fact of the matter is your answer should be, oh, wherever you go, Takamine-san, I will follow because that is my duty as your closet. So it's like, yeah, no matter what route you're choosing, it's supposed to be, no, I'll follow you wherever your life takes you because I'm your closet, I'm forever yours. That's like it's supposed to be like my position as your closet is supposed to be like a full-time thing forever. So when it's all said and done, though, she's also showing off like the underwear she has. She's like, oh, I got these open bra and underwear. Also, it's like, you're the one that kind of opened me up to this because a couple episodes ago when we were shopping for underwear, you picked this out. He's like, well, I didn't actually pick it out. It was just like, I closed my eyes, picked the first thing I grabbed. And even then I didn't pick it because she got the stuff that she really wanted. To be fair, she also made it clear at that time, obviously he didn't know, she's not planning on wearing that stuff because he decided to pick it out for her. She wants to cherish it, and if it's like, if I wear those and take them off, they disappear. So it's like, I want to keep them for sentimental purposes. I mean, it seemed like that's the way that was going. And I also love when she was buying from the cashier, she's like, I decided to order them because like buying them face to face of the cashier was so embarrassed. And he's like, shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't it be the person who's buying it be embarrassed? And she's showing it off, and he's like obviously flipping out and tripping out. And even she's like, "Oh, look at the underwear area." It's like, "Oh, I know you want to end the FaceTime, the video call to see what you want to see, but like you do that, all you're going to do is see your confused face." But the real rub of it all is when Kuro, the cat, like knocks down her phone. Once again, it's that control thing because she probably wasn't expecting him to see more than what she was expecting, and she kind of gets embarrassed and immediately ends the call. Once again, I think that's the cutest thing is like Koshi doesn't think much of it, but it's those moments where she has this facade up, where she's so in control and she loves teasing you. But even the smallest deviation outside of her control kind of embarrasses her because it's like, no, I want you to see, I want to tease you in a certain way. But when you see me in a vulnerable state or see more than I expect you to, I do get embarrassed, even though I put on this facade like, oh, I'm in control, I'm fine and everything. So I always think that's like the cutest aspect of her character when she has those moments with Koshi. Her even running her mouth about the whole, what was it? Oh yeah, at school, because she's like, this bra and underwear could match for like, I go sign up for a club, but it turns out that club's a sex club, and it basically turns into an NTR porn. And I'm like, I love that she always has to basically throw things in the vein and like showcase him in the vein of like some kind of like porno or whatever, which even Koshi was like, even like, don't ever put yourself in that position. She's like, especially as don't even do it as a joke. And she's like, well, you won't have to worry about that if you're at school to protect me as my bodyguard and my closet. So but he's like, yeah, but if you fail to get into the same college as me and continue serving as my closet, you're going to be punished. So he shows up to the tour early, and she's just like, oh, look at you trying to show up early. I think for her, it's more of a thing of, even though it should be a thing of, no, you showing up before me is actually good, but I think for her, it's like, no, we need to show up together. That's how it should work. But either way, they're going through the tour, and the conversation comes up again about, because everyone's looking at her, and Koshi's just like, wow, like everyone was looking at her and how amazing and how like her very presence is like, you'd think she already went to this university. And she's like, oh, you should be focusing more on the university tour rather than me, or thinking about me and focusing on me. And ultimately she asked him the question again, like, what are you going to do like post college? Like, like, are you going to go to the same university? Like, what are you going to do? I know you said you were undecided. And Koshi's thing is he's going to work. And and it's really heartbreaking because you tell like she's disappointed. She's almost like, well, what's your reasoning? And for him, it's like, well, I want my sister to get into a really good school, but like me going to college and then eventually my sister, like, cause she's in that point, like I think she's at like the high, like she's about to enter high school, and he's like, I'd rather work and be able to kind of like sustain myself or at least help alleviate some of the financial burden on my family. But like if I'm working, then it won't be as much. Like, you know, they only have to worry about putting one kid through college. But you could tell the disappointed on Takamine-san's face, because it's the thing of, she's like, oh, like you've really thought about this. You've given it some thought and stuff like that. Because he's also thinking like, right, there's no way I'd get into the same college as you because you're you and you're top of the class and you're so great. Like getting into this college would be no problem for you. Me, it just seems so like out of the realm of possibilities. But and so while like after that, she kind of lose a little bit of that like spark she had before, because she says it joke like there's threefold to the whole like her wanting him to continue to be her closet in college. It's like, okay, I'm saying it to tease you partially, but I'm also saying it because I like legitimately want you to continue to be my bodyguard and my closet. Because she was even doing the whole thing of, what if someone's taking video of me and stuff like that, you know, and tries to blackmail me, and then I basically become like the #1 sex worker. And it's just like, yeah, but couldn't you just like undo that and undo the blackmail and anyone getting footage? And she's like, wow, you're no fun, you're boring, like why couldn't you just play along? But getting back to the point I was making, but also from a sincere standpoint, she wants to go to the same school as him, because despite them going to the same schools and stuff like that, this is the first year they've interacted since they were kids. Once again, Koshi doesn't even remember that like she was the girl from all those years ago. He doesn't realize that. She clearly remembers. And she's never forgotten about Koshi. I think she's been in love with him since they were kids. And it's always so interesting because like Koshi has been severely into Takane like since they were like in maybe in middle school and high school. But like obviously this whole series has put her in a different light for him, and I think he still likes her, but it's just kind of like, oh wow, I've seen the different side of her. Like I've only ever known like, oh my god, this is the perfect student council president, like she's so amazing, she's the top of class and everything. But now I've come to see a different side of her I've never seen before, which I think makes him like her even more, but that hasn't really come up. Whereas with Takane, it's super obvious that she's like likes him and like has deep feelings for him. But it's like she sincerely wants them to go to the same school so they can spend even more time together, but she doesn't want to admit that. She can't bring herself to admit it. So while they're in the middle of like the tour, there's some questions that need to be asked, and she asked one, and it's kind of like, yeah, what can like getting to the top of the class in this university do for us? And the guy gives an answer, and she's just kind of like, It just wasn't like the satisfactory answer. So she's like, fine, I've decided it. And she proceeds to take off her underwear and rewind time. And then Koshi, and even when she did it over again, even I'm like, no, it seems exactly the same. Like, what did you change? And she's like, oh, I said institution before, and I've changed it to the word university because I don't want them to misconstrue that I'm talking about anything outside of school. And he's like, something as minuscule as that. And the moment that happened, I was like, she was looking for an excuse for like the kind of like haven't put her underwear on, like, and he ends up doing it, and she teases him a little bit, spreads her legs open. He doesn't put it up all the way. She's like, oh, we've been through this before. You got to put my underwear slowly and purposefully, you know, put them in the right position. But what it really came down to was, she's like, I wanted to keep using you. She's like, now I've kind of solidified it in my head that our time together, this whole thing, we've got like a year left of it now, because after we graduate, we're going to end up going separate ways. You're going to go work, and I'm going to go off to university. Which he was like, whoa, like I thought you said like even when I was working I'd still have to be your closet. She's like, no, I was joking. Which is like, she meant it jokingly, but there's also a part of her that kind of wants that to still be the case. But it's like, even then, it's like, even if it was a thing of, because she doesn't want to put him in that situation, because she heard the sincerity in why he wants to work, and she doesn't want to, like, it's like, regardless of her wanting to be selfish of like, I want to keep you around me by any means, I don't want to be a dick. And like, especially when you have such like lofty reasons and good reasons why you want to go to work and not go to school. Like, I don't want to be the douchebag that's like, no, do what I say. Like, even though she paints him and pushes him into that corner, she does it jokingly, but it's also because it's a roundabout way to like keep him close to her, you know? Because I think she's too embarrassed to ever admit her real feelings. It's easier to kind of put on this front. Like I said, I think whatever he said all those years ago, whatever it may be, I think it's why she puts on this perfect front. I think that's why she wants to be so perfect. It's because she thinks like, that's what he's after. That's what he wants. And she's like, oh, by being like, that's why the mask, she kind of gets, I think, scared and, freaked out when the mask slips every once in a while, and some of like who she really is kind of slips out, I think. But she's trying to like, is like, right, I'm going to use you up as much as possible in that year time frame because eventually we'll end up going our separate ways. So, and you can tell like Koshi kind of, it's stuck with him because he's like, she seems so sad and she's trying to pretend like everything's okay. Like, no, everything's fine. But it's like, it really bothered her to the point the next day they're going back to school because like there's a summer break thing they have to all be attendance for. And she like, he's kind of like playing it over in his head. He's like, am I imagining things? Like, she seemed a little glum for a second there, but he's like, no, she seems fine, but maybe, I don't know. And then he realizes like while they're walking, her skirt is partway up. He tries to cover for her. She realizes it and she's like, makes an excuse. Oh, I was just trying to do something great by like, not wearing a skirt would reduce CO2 emissions. I'm like, what's the logic behind that? But then she's like, no, to keep some form of decency, I decided to wear a skirt. And he's like, this isn't decent at all. So she like adjusts her skirt, but then he notices, yeah, she's only wearing one sock and then like trying to get through the door, the gate at the station. She couldn't get it on the first try. At first I was like, is that the wrong thing? I don't know if she ended up realizing like it was a wrong thing because it looked like it was it didn't seem like it was her like ticket pass that she was putting on the thing. And it's just like, and Koshi's just like, why does she seem so off? It's like, was she just struggling with all this just like I was? And then like partway through it, he starts realizing like, wait, she's not wearing, wait, did she forget to wear a bra? But then he's like, wait, could this all be part of her plan? Because it's like, she is the way she is. So now he's questioning, did she plan on this? No, there's no way she didn't. There's no way she'd be distracted because he's like, she's Miss Perfect. There's no way she'd ever do it. Like, this has to be on purpose. Like, it's like, no, today was just an off day. Like, she didn't even recognize it herself. How much of an impact of knowing like this is their last year together really like it really got to her head and kind of broke her heart knowing that. It's like, oh, we still have a year together, but then it's just knowing like every day that counter is ticking down to like them going their separate ways, and she just wants to be around him because she even says like, yeah, this relationship will come to an end after a year, won't it? And she's trying to cherish it and use him up as much as possible in that time frame. But yeah, like he noticed about her shirt, and he's like, oh, I don't know how to fix this situation before she recognizes it. But then she looks at her shirt, she's like, oh my God. He's like, oh, finally she realized it. But then she's like, oh my God, this is my shirt from first year. And she's like, oh my God, can you believe, like, look how even more busty I've become and grown. Her shirt gets trapped in the door, her pushing her body like that just to kind of show off a little more, pops her shirt open. Koshi covers her nipples because he's like, if the moment anyone sees her bare breast, like in totality, it's going to make it so that they will all retain their memories, even if she undoes things. And she proceeds to undo the entire day, which Koshi was like, nah, everything kind of worked out this time through. But then he starts thinking to himself like, well, maybe she, it's like once you get so used to a tool, you never want to give it up. And that's how he views himself, because he's like, oh, she only sees me as a tool, but she's become accustomed to me as a tool, so she wants to keep me around. And she's kind of bummed about the whole thing, kind of like I was. Because even he was like, even back in the first half of the episode when he's just like, I should be, celebratory about the fact is of like, yeah, being her closet will come to an end. But he's like, no, it feels too early to celebrate, because he's not too happy about it, even though he thought he would be. He's like, oh, I'll put this all behind me, my life can kind of go back to normal. But he loves the craziness that his life has become, because it's like the time he spent with her, even though he hasn't really come to realize that all yet. But that's the thing, Koshi's like slightly on the right path where he's like, oh, like he's coming at it from the perspective of, oh, I'm a good enough tool for her and she doesn't want to let me go. But it's like, no, she has feelings for you and she doesn't want to let you go. But in his mind, it's like, oh, it's only because she sees me as her closet and she doesn't want to give up her closet. Because yeah, once you're getting accustomed to something being a part of your life, this tool, you don't want to let it go. It's like, no, this person I like is back in my life, and I found a roundabout situation to keep that person in my life. But now I've realized that roundabout way is going to like run out of time, and I can't guarantee like, I'll say or do anything that's going to, because she doesn't want to, now knowing his motivations of working rather than going to college, she's like, I don't want to like interfere with that. So it's like I can't be selfish and force you to go the way I want to. Even though I do force you on a regular basis, it's still within the time frame of like in the confines of her cheekiness and messing with him a little bit. But Koshi deciding like, no, I will make more for an effort of like, I could tell this is bothering her, but also I kind of want to stay by her side too. So I'm gonna go to cram school. I'm gonna make an effort. I know it's like a million in a chance, one chance of like me actually getting in the same college as her, but he's willing to try. Just like the whole, she motivated him with the whole like race situation as well. She motivated him to get in a good spot and a good time and stuff. So. But the episode ends with him bumping into one of the three characters we've seen in the intro. Once again, I brought that up. I'm like, man, we still haven't met any of them. And lo and behold, we meet one. Interestingly enough, it's the blonde, yellowish hair one, I believe it is. And she knows Koshi. So I was immediately, I'm like, ooh, love triangle situation? I wanted it to be a situation of she knows Koshi, maybe her and maybe it's a friendship thing between her. I mean, maybe she's like a childhood friend of Koshi's and they haven't seen each other in a long time, very much like him and whereas like him and Takane were like they met from time to time with the cat thing, but then they went their separate ways. Like they weren't childhood friends, but they met through their childhood. What if this is actually Koshi's childhood friend he hasn't seen in a long time type of situation? So it kind of plays that role of a love triangle thing, or it could be a thing of maybe she was around Koshi and Takane, and maybe she is going to be the character that recognizes like, oh, Takane like is super into Koshi, and she'd be the one person that knows where I'm curious to see what her role is, because there's another female character and then there's a male character that I'm like, who are they and what roles will they play in this whole dynamic? It's going to be so interesting to see, because I think there's got to be one character that's going to know how Takane feels and tries to like, because it could be a thing of the yellow hair character could be Koshi's friend, the other female character could end up being Takane's friend, and that they could be kind of filling similar roles just for the opposite character or something like I think that'd be interesting. Like I said, there's also the possibility of we could have a love triangle situation going on here, maybe not. We'll ultimately have to wait to see where the next episode takes us with all of this to see where it all goes. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.